All right, let's go to Joe Scarborough. Now, we go to Joe Scarborough, not because I want to torture you, not because he's relevant, but he's a foil. And he's too stupid to know that he's a foil. He's got a tiny viewership. It's tiny. He's been on that MSLSD for a long time now with his sidekick, Mika. But it is a tiny viewership. So my audience, my listening audience, you're massive, certainly compared to his. So I do this because it's useful in gleaning what kooks on the left are like and responding to it. I want you to listen to this. It was on the Morning Schmo this morning. Hat tip to CNS News. Cut 7. Go.
As it goes to Republicans, yes. Rank and file Republicans say 75, yes. 80% saying they liked what he did in Helsinki, when even again his closest allies in the media said that he was either treasonous or a complete dupe.
Which closest allies in the media said he was treasonous or a complete dupe? This guy is not only fake media, he's moron media. Go ahead.
These people that I grew up with that were the toughest on Russia, that fought the Cold War alongside with NATO. When the Soviets' goal during the Cold War is the same goal that Vladimir Putin has now.
Well, who disagrees with that? Exactly what steps? What steps did or has President Trump taken that is inconsistent with that? Exactly what steps has he taken that's inconsistent with that? Hillary Clinton and John Kerry, they undermined our relationship with Russia. They weakened America in the face of Russia. Obama didn't engage Russia. They annexed Crimea. What did Obama do? Nothing. I think he was golfing. They invaded Ukraine. What did Obama do? He withdrew our agreement with them to provide them with arms. Instead, he gave them blankets and gloves and, stuff like that. He thought it was a welfare program. What else did he do? He took missile defense away from some of our allies that were scheduled to receive it. He undermined our military, turned it into a social experiment, slashed spending on our military. Scarborough is a moron, and he's a fraud. He's an absolute fraud. But, of course, he's defending freedom of the press, don't you know? This man could not get a paycheck unless he attacks the president and attacks the Republican Party and conservatives, and then pretends to be one. He's the Tokyo Rose of MSNBC. Old Tokyo Joe. Maybe that's what we'll call him, Mr. Producer. With that weird accent on your head. Go ahead.
Western democracies and break up NATO. The goal is identical to what Republicans always supported. And you talk about trade. 73% of Republicans now are telling pollsters that they think tariffs are good for America.
Well, I don't think tariffs are good unless they're aimed at China, because China's the enemy and they're stealing our technology. A little bit of context, Joe. But you can disagree with the president without savaging him each and every day. But what Joe won't tell you, and his sidekick Mika, is that this is all personal with them. They used to be Trump's buddy. Trump used to come on their show and actually get them ratings. They used to go to the White House. Joe, you'll remember, when the president gave his first speech to a joint session of Congress, Joe was there in the audience jumping up like a clapping seal. Remember that? I was never invited to do that. That's how close Joe and Mika were to Trump. But they went sideways. So now he spends every waking moment obsessing over Trump. How sick is that? The man needs a psychological exam. Go ahead.
Again, who are these people? It's like these are the story of like political body snatchers.
Ah, there you go. And you wonder why you don't have an audience. Gets even better. Cut 8. Go.
I wrote about it yesterday. Who are these people and what have they done to my party?
No. That's not fascistic. Who are these people and what have they done to my party? You clown. Go ahead.
Percent of Americans think it's okay to cower before an ex-KGB agent.
Trump did not cower before an ex-KGB agent. Obama did. Obama blinked in Syria. He blinked in Crimea. He blinked in the Ukraine. He blinked when it came to Eastern Europe and providing them with missile defense. Blinking all the time, like Nancy Pelosi. Trump hasn't blinked yet. But none of this matters. But for Scarborough, it's every day. Stormy Daniels and Michael Cohen and Russia and this. We're going to war with the North Korea. He's just a very, very lousy human being. Go ahead.
To insult allies, you do wonder, this isn't just...
To insult allies, clown? To insult allies? Did you speak up when Obama was eavesdropping on Benjamin Netanyahu? I believe Israel's one of our closest allies. Did you speak up when Obama was using surveillance, not only on the American media, but on members of Congress who disagree with the Iran deal? Did you speak up when the ambassador from Israel to the United States, when they were eavesdropping on him? Did you speak up when Obama was eavesdropping on Jewish organizations that disagreed or might disagree with his position on Iran? Of course you didn't. Because those are the actions of a dictator. You didn't say a damn thing. You coward. You buffoon. Trump hasn't done any of that. Go ahead.
You do wonder, this isn't just a Donald Trump problem now. This is a problem with the party cast wide.
And this is what low IQ morons like this do when they're trying to justify their lurch to the left. With his girlfriend, soon-to-be wife, with MSNBC that pays him his substantial salary, with clowns that he puts around him like this guy Heilman or whatever. John Heilman, whatever his name is. This is how he does it. So he's firmly entrenched now in the camp of the left. But he says, "Hey, look, it's the Republican Party that is the problem. Trump's the problem. Conservatives are the problem. You know, I'm the real deal here. But you know, but I'm not. No, he's not. He's a fraud. Fraud news. Does that sound better? I'll be right back.
Mark Levin.
The left doesn't want you to know about their great hero. Whoopi Goldberg has no idea what I'm talking about. And Joe Scarborough has no idea what I'm talking about. President Trump has attempted to make sure that refugees who come into this country are carefully vetted, depending on the country they come from. Half a dozen countries where terrorism is running wild. We've been struck by terrorism in this country very, very badly. And so that needs to be done. FDR turned back Jews escaping the Third Reich. Jews weren't terrorists. There was nothing associated with Jews and terrorism. They were trying to flee for their lives. FDR turned them back. Now, look at those two examples. Do the media, do the Democrats, do the columnists, looking at history, whataboutism? Whataboutism is context, it's history, it's clarity. So the things that they say about Trump are absolute, unconscionable lies. But they are not when applied to Franklin Roosevelt, the king of the Democrats. I just want to make that clear. So when it comes to all these allegations, at least most of them they're making against Trump, they are legitimate when applied against Franklin Roosevelt. But they're not legitimate when applied against Trump. Trump has not buckled to the Russians. He's not given them 1 inch of territory. He's not given them 1 inch of anything. When it comes to refugees, Trump simply wanted, and the Supreme Court now agrees, to carefully vet them to make sure whoever comes in, nobody sneaks in here to do us damage, given we don't know what governments and so forth they're coming from. FDR, of course, turned Jews back, refugees back, and they were murdered. In terms of dictatorship, the tradition up to FDR was presidents run for 2 terms. He ran for 4. Supreme Court, he tried to pack it by adding 5 more justices. I can go on and on and on. So we did have a dictator in this country. He was the favorite of the libs, Franklin Roosevelt. It's not Trump. I'll be back. Let's take some calls. What do you say? Let us go to Lyle, Tucson, Arizona, the great KNST. Go.
Mark, it's an honor to speak to you. I want to let you know that your knowledge and your passion, but most of all your consistency, is helping me get through this ridiculous time we're living in right now.
It is ridiculous.
I've really never seen anything like it, and the kind of guy that wants to be able to try to understand what I'm seeing and hearing constantly, and I came up with the characterization of hysterical desperation. Mm-hmm. It dawned on me that there's a lot at stake for a lot of the Democratic slash socialist icons, that if the Republicans, real Republicans, stick around, as I'm hoping President Trump sticks around, the dominoes are starting to fall, and I'm seeing hysterical, desperate people, and that just kind of helps me understand the ridiculousness of what I hear every day.
It's a very good way to put it, Lyle. Thank you very, very much.